Hey, good evening. Welcome to another week of World Civilization. I really hope you're enjoying the class. I'm having a great time teaching it and learning from you. So thank you for all the work that you have done. Before we get into the assignments, I want to just take a minute and talk about where we're going to go this week as we continue to study about the formation of the Islamic empires and really get in depth with the holy, if you can call them that, crusades. And I wanted to discuss a couple of things as it relates to Islam that I think here in the West we might not really understand because we don't take time to study it and understand it. And the first thing is the word jihad. You read about this in your passage in the textbook this week, and some people have equated over the last years, probably since 9/11, the image of jihad being terrorists who are desiring to create a holy war of themselves that is full of individuals chopping heads off, creating terroristic acts of violence. And the reality is, that's far from what jihad really is, according to Islam and according to the prophets. You see, jihad in its original sense in the Islamic world is basically a legitimate struggle. And it's a struggle against those who are trying to attack Muslims in non-Muslim countries. And it's a way to secure the property, the lives of Muslims. It's a way to prevent threats from happening. So it's not a matter of going out and exacting violence on people, but it's more of preventing violence from happening to them. So it's a little different understanding than what we hear, and that just gives more evidence as to why we really need to study what it looks like. Now, the other thing is that when we're talking about Muslims, to recognize that there's different branches of Islam, and just like there's different branches of Christianity. And I wanted to show you this chart, which I think will hopefully help you maybe understand a little bit about the difference in Muslims. So you have here, there's two groups, and you'll learn about this in the readings as we go forward, but there's the Sunni and the Shia. And they're totally different. Now, if you look down here at the chart, you'll see that the majority of Muslims today are the Sunni Muslims, but there are many Shias, and they're growing in stature even as the years go. A couple of difference is that the Sunni believe that the first four caliphs or leaders were rightly guided, that they had been put in line, they had been put in place, and therefore were doing the acts that Muhammad and ultimately Allah or God had called them to do. Whereas Shias kind of really get upset when Muhammad passes away, that Ali, who was the Prophet's son-in-law, doesn't succeed Muhammad. And they kind of feel wronged by this. They don't like the direction that it's going. Once again, you can go into Christianity or Judaism, if you will, and you can start seeing how there were people who were upset when Joshua took over, when other people took over. They didn't like that. They didn't agree with that. And, they kind of thought things should have gone in a different direction. Or if you want a better understanding, go back and think about Abraham, how Abraham has two children that are born, two sons. You have Isaac and you have Ishmael. Well, from Isaac comes Judaism and then ultimately Christianity, and then Ishmael is where Islam comes from. So there's disagreement there. Also with the Sunnis, they believe that Muslim rulers should follow Muhammad's example. And Shia doesn't think that anyone can really, any Muslim ruler can come from someone who is not a direct descendant of Muhammad. They really want to focus on that direct line. And you understand that if you've studied, and we'll study this when we get into Europe and things of that nature as far as kings. For the longest times, it was royalty by direct lineage, direct blood. So there's a difference there. And then Sunni claim that the Shia have distorted the meaning of various passages in the Quran. Once again, jihad. That some of the some of the Shia kind of come in and they want violence. They want to basically do harm to people that do not accept their beliefs. You really can see in the Middle East there is disagreement between these two groups of Muslims, and it's something to kind of understand as you're gaining a better understanding of how this Islamic empire kind of comes about. So just a couple of things to keep in mind, that it's not as easy as it looks, but it's very important for us to study it so that we can kind of see how Islam is where it is today. Now, as far as assignments, let me just highlight just a couple of things for you. The next 3 weeks are really designed for you to develop some pretty good attention to your research paper. We're getting towards the end of the semester. Things are going to come pretty fast as we get into Thanksgiving and a lot of other things that are going to be due. So I'm giving you, if you'll just kind of notice that week 13, you have just the reading questions. Week 14, you have a document on Mansa Musa, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And then week 15, there's a film analysis. And then when you get into week 16, your paper's due. So we're almost there, and I really want to encourage you, spend this time right now focusing on getting details with your answers, but don't forget about the research paper. It will come up fast, and that will take some time. So I'm giving you some time over the next few weeks to be able to start working on that. Detail is so important. I'm really enjoying reading your responses. I'm really excited to hear what you thought about Alfonso the Camel, so I look forward to studying that with you this week. As always, reach out to me if you've got questions, concerns, if you're just trying to figure out where to go or what to do or how to get back on track. Just don't hesitate to send me an email. Reach out to me. I hope you have a great week. Look forward to talking to you soon. Go out there and do something great for someone. Take care.